morning, everyone. We're going to get started just like usual here, nice and tall through our spine, either seated or standing. If you're standing, you're going to make sure you're tucking your glutes under, okay, maintaining that length through the spine. We're going to chin tuck back for 10. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, maintain that length. Our head turns coming back to center in between. Okay, here we go. 10, back to center. 9, center. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we're going to go into the second part of our warm-up now. And we are going to start with a seated or standing cat-cow for 45 seconds. So if you're seated, you have some space in between, about like your knees are about shoulder width apart so that you can curl and uncurl the spine here. Or remember, our standing variation is you can simply just rest your palms on the chair here, okay? And you're just arching and tucking through your spine, all right? So let's get ready. You pick which one you'd like to do and begin. I'm just gonna stick with the standing one here. Turn my timer down, that's incredibly loud. Okay, so just arching and tucking here, not forcing anything, just going through your range of motion. We're just kind of gently tapping and trying to wake the body up. Say, hey, good morning. Let's get moving here. All right, dusting off any cobwebs that are on the spine from sleeping for so many hours, laying down for so many hours. We have about 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to go to our 4-count cherry picker with the option to reach overhead. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So our next one is wider than shoulder width apart, either seated or standing. Okay, you're going to reach out, middle, in. You can either come up right here, or you can reach overhead if that feels okay for you. We're just going to repeat that sequence. Here we go. So this is an option to lift overhead. And up. Okay, here's what it looks like seated. Reach out, middle, in. All right, and here's what it looks like without the overhead reach. I'm just kind of coming up to my hips here with my hands. Okay, so any of those options here. Warming up the back side of the body here, the hips. 10 more seconds here, okay? And we're gonna go to our lateral 3-count march, okay? So standing, it's 1, 2, 3, and hold. 1, 2, 3, and hold, okay? Seated, it looks the same. We just take the lateral portion out. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and hold. Okay, opposite hand and foot, right? 1, 2, 3, and hold. So there's our seated. 1, 2, 3. Finding that balance and that core stabilization. Five more seconds. And time. Good. One more we're going to do, and we're doing this later on. This is our mambo, but I figured a better cue to say it is our 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. So I'm going to show it standing first, okay? Here we go. It's going to go 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. Okay? Cha-cha-cha. Okay, so play with it. Do that rhythm in your head, okay? Seated. We're going to go 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. Okay, so it's tap, back, cha, 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 tap, back, cha, cha, cha. Okay, so kind of across the body for that seated. So we're playing, I added it into the warm up so that you can kind of have a go at it without thinking too much about it when we get into the workout later. And time. Okay, just one round each of those moves just to kind of wake the body up here. All right, we'll gradually work into our class here. So we're going to start with our first block, okay? 45, 15, 3 exercises. We are going to do a lateral side step with a T-fly. Okay, just side to side, side to side. What I want you to think about when you're pulling this back, I want you to think this, what's initiating that movement is back here in the shoulder, right? They're the muscles. Think about that. That's the connection. That's the joint that's moving through your shoulder, whether you're seated or standing, okay? That is the muscle you're working in the back there, okay? So I want you to be mindful of that. When these aren't, the arms aren't just flailing back. Think of the source. Think of where you generate that movement from, okay? And then lateral taps, okay? Here we go. If your arms get tired, you need to take a break from that. You just want to keep the legs for a little bit. Modify that way. After that, our squat, okay? So just squat and up, squat and up, okay? Seated variation is our alternating leg extensions for that one. And then our final one, we're gonna do our tricep kick backs, okay? All right, if you'd like to add a tap back, you have a preference for that one, you can absolutely do that with this circuit here, okay? I might do that with my circuit. All right, so we're going to start with the lateral side step and T-fly, okay? Remember, where is that movement generating? Through the back of the shoulder here, okay? So elongate through the core, seated or standing. I'm gonna do round one seated. Let's get ready and begin. Here we go. So I have this 90-degree bend through the elbows here. I'm thinking about the back of my shoulders, that shoulder joint, right? That's where the movement's initiating. I'm thinking of the shoulders in the back, pulling my elbows back. Go at your pace. You can slow it down, okay? Or you can speed it up, all right? You pick your unique. If your arms start to get tired, you need to do this for a second. All right, you feel a little discomfort, do that until you feel okay, and then bring it back again, okay? There's no wrong way here. All right, now we're going on to our squats, okay? So heels are about shoulder width apart, okay? Toes are slightly out. You can hold a weight here if you'd like. Drive up and down. Drive up and down, pressing through the heels of the feet, okay? If you're seated with me, here we go. We're alternating our leg extensions. I'm keeping my foot flexed. All right, that's going to help me make that mind muscle connection to the front of the leg, okay? I'm telling this part of my leg, squeeze, okay? All right, have to be present. Your mind and body need to connect, right? Because you can go through the motions. You can easily do this and think about what you want to get your grandkid for Christmas, you know what I mean? Like, but when you actually focus on it, you get more out of it. Okay, less than 10 seconds here. Then we're going to move on to our upper body. 2 and 1. Good. Grab a pair of weights or water bottles, or just use that good old mind muscle connection and ball your fist here. Okay, we're going to do a tricep kickback with the option to tap back as well, okay? So for the seated variation, you're going to feel the knee joint tap back if you're adding that too. And for the standing, it's the hip joint, okay? The hip is kind of extending back. All right, so you pick. Again, mind muscle connection to the back of the arms here. Just a slight forward lean, nothing too aggressive. 10 more seconds here, then we are back to the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Good. Whenever you need drinks, please take them. Don't wait till the end of the 9 minutes if you need it beforehand. T-fly with our lateral steps here. Okay, and 2, 1, here we go. Remember, think about the back of the shoulder blades, the scapula. That is where the movement is originating at, right? That's the point where everything starts, is through that joint, okay? So those muscles in our upper back are the ones that are really working to pull these elbows back. You may feel some work in the front here too, because you're getting a nice stretch. So if you happen to be really tight through the front of your chest, you're gonna feel that work here too. 2, and 1. Woo. Okay, back to our squats. Option to hold a weight. You don't have to. All right, either that or your seated leg extensions. My heels are about shoulder width apart. Toes are slightly flared out. Come to this diagonal angle right here. I'm going to sink it back and drive it up. I want to make sure that my heels keep contact with the floor. If you feel your heels popping up off the floor as you lower down, adjust your foot placement, okay? Play around with where your body wants to be so that they can maintain contact, because it's really important to drive and push those heels into the floor as you lift your body up. Two, and time. Excellent. Okay, tricep kickbacks with the option to tap back. If you feel your heart rate is elevated a little too high, you may want to avoid the tap back here, okay? And just focus on the arms only. Otherwise, you can add that in. Or you could do half of the 45 seconds with it and half without it. Half seated and half standing, you know, just stay focused on your body parts that you're working and do what you can. Do what's reasonable for you. Five more seconds here, then we're going to take it one more time through. 2, and time. Excellent. Woo, get your drinks. I'm feeling this first set, guys. Back to those alternating lateral steps with the T-fly here, okay? Begin. Seated or standing at your pace, okay? Maybe you want to do 3 or 4 slow, and maybe you quicken it up 3 or 4 fast, and then back, okay? You can put, you know, my point in showing you all this is you do you, okay? Good. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, woo, and 1. Okay. Squats are next. Either that or your seated leg extension. My heels are about shoulder width apart. Okay, slight flare out with the toes. Knees stay in the direction of the toes. And here we go. Sink it down, drive it up. Where should your heels be? Connected to the floor, right? That way, when I push the heels down into the floor, it helps turn my glute muscles on. Strong glutes help with our balance and knee health. Good. 5 more seconds. Ooh, and time. All done with those. Final set of tricep kickbacks with the option to add those foot tap backs in, okay? All right, let's get ready. Here we go. I'm just ever so slightly leaning forward, right? If that does hurt though, you can just stand up right here. That's okay. All right, the idea is when I'm here, I'm thinking about here, right? I'm really squeezing through the back of the arm when my arm is long. Remember, the feet are an option. We're gonna break after this. Whew, 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and time. Excellent work, guys. Go ahead and take a break here. Whew, I don't know if it's just me this morning or what, but I really felt that first block, okay? So remember, adjust it this time. This format is 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, but you can always stop early, take a little extra rest, or start late to take a little extra rest, okay? All right, so next we are doing our alternating lunging. So remember, for our standing variations, you can hold both hands on the back of the chair, okay, as we alternate, or you can hold one hand on the side of the chair, a little bit harder, right, because you're not using 2 hands to stabilize, or no hands if you're advanced, okay, or a combination of them, all right? Our seated variation is our alternating leg press. I'm towards the end of my chair. I'm scooping back here. We're getting our abs engaged here, and we're pressing some imaginary heavy object away, okay? After our lunges, our hinge and row, right? Feet are underneath our hips, toes forward. We're gonna row it and bring it up, okay? Nice neutral spine, hips come back, row it. Look how nice and straight I am here, and bring it back, right? If you feel your body doing this, we wanna try to correct that so we're here, okay? And then our last one is our curl to press in a neutral grip, all right, which means our knuckles stay to the side every time. However, if overhead pressing is uncomfortable for your body, you're going to do a bicep curl with the knuckles down halfway here and then externally rotate, bring it back, okay? And if you like both these moves, maybe you want to do a little bit of both each round, okay? All right, so we're going to start with our lunging or alternating lunging. I'm going to start with my seated leg press for round 1 to do the seated variations. Let's get ready and begin. Here we go. So for alternating seated leg press, I'm close to the edge of my chair so that I have room to lean back, right? I don't want to be so far onto the edge that I feel like I'm going to fall off, but just enough to give me a little room to lean back. Right, I'm picking my knee up, bringing it in, pressing my heel out, bringing it back and down. Keep that foot flexed if you're doing this with me. And boy, you can really feel your core working on this if you have a nice scooped out lean here. And time. Okay. Hinge and row is next. Okay, remember we're looking for that neutral spine, so it's all about pushing the hips back behind you, okay? Let's get ready. And here we go. We're gonna hinge. So think a hinge is just like a door opening and closing, right? A suitcase opening and closing. It's the same as our hips being the hinge, right? And our thighs and our back being the 2 ends, either the wall and the door or either side of the suitcase, right? 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, so now we have our curl and press to bring it back, okay? If overhead does not work for you in your body, you're gonna switch your grip so that the knuckles are under and come out and back, okay? They're both the same count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so whichever option works for you here. And again, maybe you want to do a little bit of both. They're both great exercises. If you're standing, make sure you're thinking about keeping those glutes tucked, squeezed, okay? That's going to help with your core engagement. You don't have to question, is my core engaged? Just squeeze your glutes, keep them squeezed, and that'll naturally put you in that core engagement. 2 and time. Whew, okay, so back to the top. I am going to move to our standing variations this round. So we're going back to lunging or seated leg press, and I'm going to do the one side option today. Here we go. So step it back, lower down, drive through that front heel, bring it back, and lower through your own range of motion. Just like on our squat, that front leg, you want that heel to be into the floor here, okay? So if your heel is popping up off the floor, I want you to readjust your position so that you can get that heel to stay in contact with the floor. All right. Three, 2, and time. Ooh, okay, hinge and row. Do our side profile. Our feet come right underneath our hips, okay? Right underneath them. Toes are forward. Ready? And here we go. So look, pushing the hips back towards the wall behind me, okay? There's my hinge, and then there's my row. Past halfway. Two, and time. Okay, bottom of round 2, we have our curl and press, bring it back, okay? Or regular bicep curl here, say halfway, in external, internal, and down, okay? Either or. Remember, when you're standing, I'm tucking my pelvis under, so that's what I'm thinking about doing, okay? That'll engage my core. And I'm keeping my glutes squeezed the whole time. That provides a nice stable base for the trunk of the body as we move these dumbbells up through through space and up into the air here, okay? On a nice stable base of support. Almost there. 2, and time. Oh boy, one more time through, guys. Final set of lunges. Make use of any modifications if you need to. I think for this third round, I'm going to hold on to both of my, with both of my hands instead of just one. Step it back, lower down, drive it up, return. Okay, remember, it's mostly the front leg doing the work here. That doesn't mean you won't feel a little bit of work in the back leg, especially if your muscles are tight, okay? But you're really, where the muscle contractions are happening, it's with the front of the leg, okay? That's where the muscle is being engaged and released. The back leg is more of the stretch. You're getting more of a stretch. So that is work as well, right? Releasing a muscle is just as much work as tightening a muscle, okay? And they're both equally important. Okay, all done with lunges. Final set of hinge and row. So remember, tight muscles aren't going to work well. You're not going to be able to contract well if they're super tight. Hinge and row. Here we go. Hips back, row, squeeze to return. So if you know you have really tight muscles, it's really a good idea to work on the flexibility of the muscle so that you can get a better muscle contraction then. Because think about it, if the muscle's already really tight, how are you going to contract it? It's already contracted, right? And it's stuck that way. So if you know you have a tight muscle, it's important to work on loosening it up. And time on those. Final set of curl and press or curl to external rotation, okay? Remember, if you're standing here, we're going to scoop and tuck, okay? Help support this lower back here. Let's go. Knuckles out to the side. Up, bring it back. We're gonna break after this one. Ten more seconds. Two, and time. Okay. All right, guys, take a breather here. Get a drink. We're gonna go into our cardio circuit next. Working on the heart muscle, okay? Little fat burning here. So our first one, either seated or standing, is our 1, 2, 3, back, back, forward, 1, 2, 3, back, forward, 1. Okay, so we just take that back, forward out for our seated one because we don't need to. We're already set up for the other side, okay? After that, we have our 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, which I was calling mambo. So we've been doing these for a couple weeks, but I think that the 1, 2, cha-cha-cha is a better cue, right? So 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. So think of bringing that hip forward and over, right? We're looking for that rotation. So on here, we're gonna go 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, okay? And then our last one is our kick back with the straight arm pull back, okay? We're gonna work on, if you're standing here, you'll get more of a flexed foot here. Working on strengthening the hamstrings, stretching the quadriceps, okay? And strengthening through the back and stretching through the front, okay? All right. Let's get ready. I'm going to do round 1 seated, and we are starting with our alternating 3 count repeaters, okay? So let's get ready and begin. All right. Good, 15 seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Next we have our 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, okay? So it's our one to have fun with too. You know, try to, once you get the rhythm of it down and you feel like you've got the, you know, you've got it, and you can start to, you know, put some dance flair to it if you want. Not saying I have any, but I'm sure some of you have really good rhythm and would like to have some fun and explore. And time. Okay. Kickbacks and a straight arm pullback are next. For our seated variation, we're a little bit further towards the edge of our seat, so we have room to toe tap back. Remember, if you're standing, it's more of a flexed foot back. And here we go. Just hit halfway. So I'm going to feel that heart rate coming up here. As long as out of a scale of 1 to 10, you're really not exceeding, 8 would be if you're advanced, and 8 is a good place to be. But really, anywhere from a 5 to a 7 is ideal. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so the way you adjust that is if you need to pull back, just slow your pace down or take a little break. Okay. All right, so back to the top. I'm going to standing. We've got our 3 count knee repeaters. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, back, forward. Standing ab work, guys. Going at your pace, okay? That accumulated fatigue starts to set in. Be safe about it. And time. Woo. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, okay? Deep breaths. Get your drinks. Have fun with this. In my head, I'm chanting that the whole entire time through. So I'm the whole time, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. That helps me. You may not need to, but that works good for me, and I just wanted to share. And time. Okay. Bottom of round 2, kick back and a pull back. Remember, for this standard variation, keep that foot flexed. Okay, and that's going to really help you work into this area of the leg. Ready? Begin. So we get a nice contraction on the back of the leg here, and a nice stretch on the front of the leg. These are sneaky. These, you can really feel the intensity. It's a basic movement pattern, but doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to do. Right? And time, right? Feel that, that exhaustion that you get from doing that cardiovascular movement. Last round through, guys. Okay, so we're going back to our 3 count knee repeater, either seated or standing. Here we go. Halfway. Last 10 seconds here. And time on those. Okay, check. Last count of 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. Woo, feeling it now. Here we go. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. At your own beat. Two, and 1. Okay, this is it. Kick back and pull back, and then we have a short abs finisher, okay? Let's get ready. And begin. Flex that foot if you're standing here. Engaging the hamstrings in the back of the leg. Nice stretch through the front of your leg here. This is great too because it can help get into the hip flexors a little bit. We're often tight right through this area here. Okay. So that can help loosen up the hip flexor a little bit. Five, 4, 3, 2, and time. Whew. Take a break, okay? Take a break, okay? Our cardio circuit is done here. We are going into a 2 rounds of an ab finisher like we've been doing, okay? They're all seated, okay? They're all seated abs. So, sort of. The first one is our sit squat to lean back, okay? So, we drive it up, come to standing, because just this alone, okay, it takes core strength to lift yourself up out of the chair, okay, especially without the assistance of the handles. That being said, if you need the assistance, use your hands if you need it, okay? Don't worry about that, okay, because it's good to stay in the habit of getting up and down so that you don't lose that, right? But we're gonna lean it back, exhale, and then stand it up. Sit down, lean it back, exhale. Okay, let me show you from the side. Okay, so see how I'm closer towards the edge of my chair? That gives me room here. Okay, so my feet are about shoulder width apart, a nice wide base of support. Okay, if we're really narrow, it's a lot harder to stand up if our feet are narrow. Okay, so I'm gonna lean back. Okay, see how I'm scooped right here? Exhale. It's like a crunch, right? If you were laying on the floor doing a crunch. Okay, lean back, exhale forward, stand up. Sit it down, lean back, exhale it forward, drive it up, okay? If you have arms on the side of the chair, if you need a little assistance to get yourself up out of the chair, do that. And if you're doing it seated, just kind of lift up. See that? Just mild lift up. And then lean it back. Exhale. Hold on to the sides. Hover the glutes. Sit it back down. Okay. All right. So, and then after that, we're going to do seated lean back. Okay. So you're going to hold on to the sides of your chair. Okay. I'm going to have my feet flexed. Okay. And I'm staying leaned back here. Okay. See this? I'm just kind of holding onto my chair here. If you have arms, hold onto the arms. Okay. I'm staying scooped here. I'm exhale. Okay. So I'm bringing my chest towards my neck. Okay. If it's too much to keep your feet flexed, you don't have to. Just focus on this crunching position, okay? Our final one is we're going to have our feet a little bit past 90 here, our knee a little bit past 90. We're gonna lean back, we're gonna twist, 2, 3, 4, come back to center, up, back, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to center, exhale up, okay? All right, so that's our combo. I'm gonna switch to the front here now. We are starting at the top with our sit squat to lean back. So I'm a little bit closer towards the edge of my chair. My feet are wider here, so it's easier to get up out of my chair. Okay, remember, if you're gonna maintain seated, just give a little hover if you can, all right? Let's get ready. Here we go. So I'm gonna lean back, I'm gonna exhale, and then I'm gonna drive up to stand, okay? Back down. Might take you a rep or two to find your proper foot placement so that they can just kind of stay stationary once you find it. So lean back, exhale forward, and drive it up. Sink it down. 10 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay, next we're going to hold on to the sides of our chairs, either like I am here, or if you have a chair with arms, you can hold on to the arms onto the side. Okay, we're going to scoop. All right, we're going to scoop here, and an option to flex the foot. We're going to pull our knee in as we pull our chest forward. If the flexed foot is too much, don't worry about it. Just do what you can. I'm exhaling as I bring my upper body forward and my knee in. Almost there, we got 5 seconds. 3, 2, whew, and 1, okay? Shake it out, okay? We're gonna go into 4 Russian twist in a tilted back position, and then we're gonna lean it forward. I'm gonna put my hands like this, okay? All right, so kind of towards the edge of your chair so you can lean back. Ready? Here we go. We're gonna lean it back. Okay, it's okay to have some length through your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, coming back to center. Exhale up, okay? Back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to center. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to center. 10 more seconds here, and we're gonna go through one more round. 2, 3, and 4, and time. That's round 1, okay? Shake it out. We're going back to our sit, squat, and lean back. I think I'll spin to the side for this round. Okay, so remember, feet are a little wider here, about shoulder width apart. All right, so we're gonna, I'm at the edge of my chair. I'm gonna lean it back. I'm gonna exhale forward, and then I'm gonna stand it up, driving through my heels, and then lower back down. You don't have to rush anything. Just think about each step of the movement, right? Ten more seconds. Final set of these right now. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay, so next we're going to do our alternating knee tuck crunch. Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to the sides of my chair. Okay, so I can lean back here. All right. Gonna put some length through my knees or my legs and see how I close the upper and lower body part. All right. So the knee tuck gets our lower abdominals, and the crunch forward gets our upper. Almost there. We have 10 more seconds here. Then we're going to move on to our obliques. 3, 2, and time. All right, nice work. Shake it out. Okay, we're going to lean back for our forward twist, and then we're going to bring it forward. Try to keep a nice neutral spine here. Your knees can be further than 90. They don't have to be here. Okay, you'll have more stability here. Twist. 2, 3, 4 to center. Exhale. Back down. Twist. 2, 3, 4. Back to center. Exhale. Neutral spine. Back down. Back to center. Exhale. 2. Back to center. Let's get one more here, and we're done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Center. And exhale. Woo, all right, guys. Nice work. Get a drink. Let's cool down here. My body temperature is nice and elevated. I hope yours is too. So let's start in our chairs for some stretches, okay? And let's just start, okay, with a nice lateral side stretch. So what I want you to think about is reaching up, right? Up, and then just slightly over to like where your wall and your ceiling, that corner where that meets, versus trying to just bend all the way over, okay? You're gonna kind of miss what we want if you do that. Okay, so reaching upwards and then slightly over. And you should feel that stretch all the way from your hip, all the way up the body, all the way up that side. And bring it back down. Same thing, other side. We're gonna reach it up and over. So I'm trying to lift up. Good. And back to center. Okay, now let's do a twist. So we're going to twist over and look past that shoulder or wherever your head wants to take you. Okay, no forcing. All right. And then let's arc those hands over to the other side. Loosen up on this side too. So these little static stretches to cool us down, bring our heart rate back down. And back to center. Good. Let's do our neck and trap here. We're going to press and pull. Take a deep breath. And back to center. Same thing, other side. Gently press and pull. And back to center here. All right, let's do a hip flexor and groin stretch here. Okay, so I'm kind of towards the edge of my chair, so I have a little room to play around with here. The leg I'm stretching is the extended one. Okay, this one's just supporting me and stabilizing me. And I'm trying to lengthen and feel the stretch kind of right through that groin and hip flexor area. We're often tight through here. Okay, so you can play around with your positioning. Like everybody's body's different. So you might like something like this or something forward or just like this, you know, if you need to like make sure you're holding. Okay, and if you want to deepen this, okay, if you're thinking it's like not enough from a standing position, You can hold on to the back of your chair. And I really like to just like, you see this? I'm just using this to prop myself here, okay? Lean into it, okay? And I'm just trying to keep this leg lengthened and feel it through here. You'll feel it a little deeper if you're able to do this, okay? Otherwise, seated variation, okay? When you're ready, either bring it back up to center or come center on your chair if you're seated. And same thing on the other side. All right, so the supporting leg is bent. Your whole, you know, the muscles are activated here, but you're looking for the stretch is what is the prime, you know, movement here that or the prime subject here. What we're trying to do is the stretch on the lengthened leg. And when you're ready, come back up, okay? And then let's go ahead and get the back of the legs and also the back of the upper body here by doing a forward fold, arms up on the sides of the chairs, okay? Ears, you're trying to get in line with the sides of your arms here. You can either stay still or you can gently sway the hips side to side if that feels okay for you. Feel how the movement stretches one side of your sacrum and then the other. And come back to center and then just gently and slowly walk yourself up, okay? We're gonna go ahead and get ready. We're gonna take a big inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms to heart. One more time, inhale. Exhale, palms to heart. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's class. Whew, that was a sweaty one for me today. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns, okay, guys?